So I just spent a lovely weekend with a friend in the Amsterdam environment. I will show you some photos while I'm talking to you, because not all of this is going to be interesting to look at. And as it turns out, she contracted COVID before that or during that, or either way, just got a test done, and now I can't do anything for 48 hours. So I figured, you know what, this is time to make a video. I'm driving my new car, 19-year-old, it's a Ford Fusion. I sold my Peugeot 205 and Volvo because the 205 wasn't getting enough use, and the Volvo was, well, there were some costs coming up that were absolutely normal, but I did the calculations. I figured I should put that money into a new car with half the mileage. This video though is not about the Ford. I will talk about the Ford later. This video is about our history with Daihatsu. Back in 1988, I was 5 years old then, or 4 years old. My dad bought a 1983 Daihatsu Charade, and or Charade or Charade or however they pronounce it in Japan. And it was a rare thing back then because I think it was the first Daihatsu that was ever sold in the Netherlands, and no one knew the brand back then. My dad didn't know the brand either, but he figured, you know what, it's Japanese, I hear a good thing about Japanese cars, and here comes the kicker. It was $400 US. It was a 5-year-old car for $400 US. Did you see that Volvo, by the way? It was glorious. And the reason it was so cheap was that they had an accident with it, and it had a massive dent in the door. And though it was still drivable, they stopped driving it because the door wouldn't work and yada yada. And at some point it lost its annual check, MOT it's called in English, APK in Dutch, TÜV in German, and whatever it's called in the US. And my dad figured, you know what, if that thing looks alright otherwise, how bad can it be for $400? So he went there, looked at the thing, decided it was indeed a very young, good-looking car otherwise, drove it home and decided, I like this thing, this is good, it's a fun car to drive. So he took it to the garage after he did some checkups, and he sort of fixed the door. You could still see that there was once a dent, but it looked a lot better. And the garage gave it a clean bill of health, then drove it out of the garage in order for us to pick it up, and someone else drove into the side of it, into the same door. So we got a new door. So now we had a perfectly new $400 car. We drove it from 1988 to I think 1999, and then gave it, or sold it, I can't remember, to my aunt, who drove it until 2002, and then we gave up on it because of rust. That's the whole reason we gave up on it. It was still incredibly reliable. A couple of years later, 2007, fast forward 5 years, 2007, my dad's like, you know what, that Daihatsu Charade, it was a fun car, we should buy another one. Only to find that they had gotten really rare, because they weren't sold that much anyway back in the day, and they all got incredibly rusty. So we found out that the model after, the Mark II Charade, if you will, maybe not looks quite as cute, but it's technically the same car. So we decided to get one of those, and the one we found was $100 on the other side of the country. So we said to each other, you know what, if it makes it home, we're going to keep that car. We drove it home, put 4 new tires on it. Remember, this is 2007. Changed some rubbers in the steering, and a friend of mine got rid of it last year. So 2007 to 2021, that car just kept going. Went for the same reason, rust. I actually did a short video on it. I will link it wherever the top right is for you guys now. And awesome car, and reliable to no end. So I was having my cousin over, and she said, oh, I've been driving my neighbor's little Nissan Micra or something like that. I love that car, she said. It's got no power steering, no power nothing, and it's so much more fun than my Mitsubishi Colt. The Mitsubishi Colt, by the way, I also made a video of. I'm not sure if I'm even pointing right, but somewhere there is a little card you can click for that video. A bit of a quick video with my phone, but it gives you an impression. And she's like, I prefer the little Nissan because it's so much more direct, and you can really feel what you're doing, and it's, you know, manual and no power steering, and it's all a bit rattly, and she was getting rid of it, she said. The neighbor was getting rid of it. So I said, you know what, when I drop you off home later, I will have a look at it. And I drove past, and I saw this tiny little Daihatsu Cuore standing on the driveway with a massive dent in the back. And I took a quick photo of it, just in case. And I asked my cousin to ask her neighbor what she wanted for it. And then her neighbor answered a couple of hours later. Well, it just had a service and it should easily do another 100,000 kilometers. It's absolutely flawless, just really ugly. 150 euros, it's yours. That's about 170, 180 US dollars. So I sent it to my dad. I really don't need a second car. I sent it to my dad and he was like, yeah, we're just gonna put that in the garage if anything. Let's grab it. So what happened next is that my cousin drove the car to my parents' place. And you can guess where I'm going now. And here we are. Welcome to a dented, badly treated, but very adorable Daihatsu Cuore from 1999 with air conditioning. Oh, tiny pedals. Okay, this should be a trip down memory lane. My dad warned me that the clutch is a bit aggressive and that the tires of the brand, what was it again? Minerva, are particularly dangerous. So let's see about that. Lights on. Oh yeah, that's a very grippy, grippy clutch. It's vibrating, it's resonating, it's doing its thing. Brakes are working. It's got airbags, 2 even. Wow. Gotta love a car with no luxury but safety. It's incredibly light for wow, that works. For a non-power steered car, that is indeed a bit worrying. My goodness. Okay, so we don't need no power steering here. Gearbox is light. Clutch is good. Woo, it's nippy. It's very nippy. Let's try the brakes. Oh, very good actually. Okay, good. Gotta test the basics. So we're gonna take it to Belgium. We're now near the German border. We're gonna go to the Belgian border because everything is near here. Because we're gonna fill it up with fuel there because it doesn't really like the ethanol 10% ethanol fuel you get these days. We're gonna fill it up with the 5% one, which is still readily available in Belgium, but a bit of a tricky one in the Netherlands and very expensive. This is recorded in March 2022, when everything is expensive. Oh my god, I'm loving it. Ugh, that was a bit far. Oh god. Okay. Oh, this is great. That feels healthy actually. It's definitely in need of some servicing and some new rubbers. It's got a Bonnefante Museum sticker. A friend of mine actually works there. So that's good. The steering is worryingly light. These front tires are. It's already slipping. You can already tell it's understeered, even though I'm only doing 30 kilometers an hour. There's some play on the gearbox, some play on the drive axles, but it feels absolutely lovely. This thing isn't gonna go wrong anytime soon, you can tell. I still haven't set this seat quite right, but here we are. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set it up. It's definitely not a great seat, but tiny pedals with my size 12 US or size 46 EU shoes. But it feels good. Gearbox is good. Handbrake works. Yeah, man. Everything feels healthy. Bit resonatey, bit vibratey, but healthy. So far, everything seems to work as well. Pretty impressed. Let's try some switches and buttons. Oh my god, those tires! It just doesn't want to go. It just doesn't want to corner. This is absolutely lethal. Look at how light this is. There's nothing there. That's not play, that's just shit tires. I love it though. Okay, fan. Yeah, it works. Let's get some cool air blowing at me. Yeah, it works. Okay, we got our inside-outside circulation. I'll test the rest in a second. Because we are approaching traffic. Let's try the air conditioning for a laugh. Will that actually work? That would be something. A 150 euro car with air conditioning. My god, those tires. I don't know if it works. It would be funny because I think fixing the air conditioning or filling the air conditioning is more expensive than this whole car would cost. So I think we got AC, people. Oh yes. Oh, it's cold. It's not ice cold. Oh, it actually works. Oh my god, it's got air conditioning. That works. Okay. That works. I'm sure that works, not a clue. It's funny, you have a little light on the dash for the fog lights, and then you have a little light in the switch for the rear window heating, which you will never see because it's hidden behind the steering wheel, which is a bit low by the way, but you can't adjust it, I assume now. What else do we have? Rear wiper. Not working? Or is this? I don't think the rear wiper is working. Okay, I found something that's broken. We have no rear wiper as far as I can tell. Hello, live from the editing suite here. So as it turns out, the tailgate that's on the car in this video was actually already not the original one, because it had a switch for the rear wiper and the rear wash, and it actually has a rear wash, which we just hosed into the back of the car now, which is a bit of a problem. But there's actually no rear wiper and a rear wash on this tailgate. But we got another tailgate, which my dad and I will install soon, because it's kind of heavy to do on your own. And then we should also have a rear wiper. There's actually no wiper on the new tailgate, but that's easily found. But the little wiper spindle is there and the wash is there. So we are actually going to upgrade the car with a proper rear wiper and wash, as it once had. Those work, so that's all right. Turn this. The brakes are very aggressive actually. Pretty impressed about that. Let me reverse it. Goes into reverse really well. I think the railway just opened, like the railroad crossing, because it's very busy here. It usually isn't. Let's see. Whoa! Woo! 3-cylinder power. It's nuts all over the place. It definitely needs some rubbers replaced. When you accelerate and you switch gears, it goes blah, 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 blah. That's not just the tires. Okay, we're braking again. That was pretty impressive actually. Not bad. Not bad at all. What's this? Oh, cup holders. You can't see that, but we have cup holders. We also have a radio. I'm not sure how to turn it on, to be honest. It's a bit confusing. How do you, it says stand by, how do you, source? Yeah, there we go. Not hearing anything. Ah, there we go. You're unbelievable. Yeah, that works. So 5-speed gearbox, which feels incredibly good. It's definitely, the tires are its main issue. It's a bit of a scary one to drive. This light works. Windows, yeah, pretty quick action. Nice big mirrors. I haven't got much battery report. I will test the windscreen wiper in a second. Also because I want to see if there's a triangle of doom to make Mr. Hubnut happy. Check out the Hubnut YouTube channel if you like this kind of car. Ian, who runs it, would adore this thing. Let's see. Yeah, there we are. No auto wipe. No triangle of doom though. This is perfect overlap there. Actually a pretty nice wiping pattern. It does need new wipers. There's a bit of a triangle of missed opportunity right there, but nothing shocking. We got half a tank of fuel. We got exactly the temperature exactly in the center. Yeah, it's your typical small French. Sorry, wow, that's something I say often. Small Japanese hatchback. Everything works, and it's actually really lovely to drive. But those tires are incredibly bad. They have no grip, but they somehow manage to. You can feel them fold under the car actually when you corner a bit more spirited. What the hell? How do they make them so bad? Oh, I found a glove box. Let's check that. What's in it? Got some spare lights. We got some Fisherman's Friend candy. It's a bit dirty in there. My dad definitely didn't clean that. As it goes with these cars, it's pretty spacious. Kind of hard to drive subtle, but kind of fun to drive not subtle at all. So that's good in my book. These are not the kind of cars you drive, you know, for that comfort. Even though I must say, the shocks pretty nice. They are in good shape, and it's not overly uncomfortable. It's a bit jumpy, but it's not jarring in any way. I absolutely have nothing bad to report about this little car, except for indeed the tires, and I feel like it could do with some new rubbers in the steering, but alignment seems alright. It's not far off at least. It doesn't really center, but that's the tires. Got your little useless. They're not very good at interiors in in Japan, there's virtually no place to put stuff. You got your cup holder, your little thing here, there's a little cubby here, but that's about it. So don't bring too much stuff. We don't have many instruments. We have our speedometer, which is reading 45 now, kilometers an hour that is. We got our massive temperature gauge and we got our massive fuel gauge, and then there's warning lights, of which I see none. Yeah, that's our little Daihatsu. It's the third Daihatsu we bought. It's the first time it's not a Charade, but you can definitely feel the heritage there. It very much feels like a Daihatsu on very bad tires. This should be fun in the rain. It's just gonna go straight. Yeah, awesome car. I'm really happy about this. Oh, that's my main beam. Sorry, person in front of me. Just trying out all the buttons. I think that's all. There's some crap in the ashtray, but it's not ash. Seating positions are right. Pedals are very tiny. That is a bit of a challenge. Clutch, you really get used to it quickly. I do feel like the steering wheel's a bit low. It should be more here, I guess, but definitely not something that is hard to live with. Also, this is super low price range motoring. I would like to repeat, we paid 150 euros, about 175 USD for this car, and it's absolutely fully functional. Amazing, absolutely amazing what you can get for virtually no money. I am loving it. Anyway, gonna fill this one up and take it back to my parents. This concludes our test drive. I'm just gonna leave the camera running. Battery is dying, but I'm just gonna, you know, oh, it's a bit resonaty. It may need some new motor rubbles. It does pick up well though, so it doesn't feel like it's about to stall. Just this is how it idles. That concludes this video. I'm going to keep it running for your enjoyment, but I'm done talking now, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my drive. Have a good one. Ooh, a mirror. 2 mirrors. Ooh. Sure how they're allowed to sell this crap, but there you go. Definitely don't take roundabouts into the tires. Oh my god, I keep getting caught off guard by how it responds. You just start steering, and then at some point it just stops responding, where you're like, I can steer more now, but we're still going straight. Oh, you really gotta feed the power in just right in order for it to actually corner. Oh, it's beautiful. It's so communicative. This is all the car really needs to be. All of the rest is, I mean, the air conditioning is a bit over the top, but all the rest is just unnecessary. I'm still amazed it has air conditioning, but manual windows and mirrors. The whole drivetrain and the shocks and everything, they feel very healthy, except for some play on either the gearbox or the drive axles. It's a very healthy feeling car. Shocks are great, brakes are good. It goes like stink. It's very nippy. Okay, here's some horrible speed bumps. The brakes are really good actually, I'm impressed with those. Some crap rattling in the back, I don't know what that is. The seats are a bit tilted forwards too much, you do tend to slide forward a bit, but it's alright. It's not bad, it's just not quite as I would like it. Honestly, driving something like this, you don't get why people ever went from this to a Yaris or an Igo. This is so much more fun and so much nicer to drive. It's a typical Japanese gearbox. It's incredibly light and very precise. Pretty big movement there, but it's very easy to get into gear. Look at that. It's great. Shall we try a clutchless gear shift? Japanese are usually pretty good at that. We'll need to be a bit quicker though. Let's see if we can do that. Also, this is the first time I'm using the DJI Osmo for this. With its built-in microphone, this could either be horrible or a very good idea. The microphone has surprised me before. I'm not sure how it does in a noisy environment like this. Oh, it's so nippy! My dad's like, it's faster than your car. It won't be. But it does feel very fast. It's just that the speedometer, like, so there's some turns coming up that are tricky to take fast. I'm not gonna try with this car. It's typical Belgian. They have turns that are not indicated as pretty tricky, and then all of a sudden you're in them. You're like, ah. I think I hear a noisy tire or a wheel bearing. Probably a tire. Yeah, it's probably a tire. Usually wheel bearings you can influence. It's a tire. Yeah, it's a resonance. It's not a bearing noise. It's a resonance of a tire going. It's fine. Don't buy overly cheap tires, people. There's so many cheap tires that are acceptable. Where you just pay, you know, these tires are super cheap. They're probably like 28 euros per tire. If you pay 35, you got something that is safe. It won't be great, but it will be safe. This is unsafe at any speed. These raw three-cylinder engines are just awesome. Oh, not third gear. Still got to get used to using second gear for all of the turns. Modern cars are just a bit more easy with that. This still feels like an old, styles, like an old car. We are going wide, but here we are. These may be the worst tires I've ever encountered on any car. Well, except for the other Minervas that were brand new on our Citroen BX. There's a video of that somewhere as well. Somewhere, yeah. Oh, they're leaving. Good, good. We can try our clutchless gear shift. Oh no, he just doesn't know how to indicate on a roundabout. Well, then let's go for the overtake, shall we? Yay, clutchless! It's always easy with old Japanese cars for some reason. Okay, and we are in an indicated 100 kilometers an hour, and it feels like it wants to go much faster. Oh, there's plenty of power left, but we can only do 90 real here, so no idea what the speed actually is. I'm not allowed to look at my phone to check it out now, but we're probably doing 93, 94. It doesn't even feel intimidating at this speed. The tires are still ridiculous. It's stable enough. Look at that. Here we go. Finally something's gonna happen, but still, that's pretty nicely aligning, I would say. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's check those brakes. Yeah, okay, it's actually really good. Surprised at how well the tires handle that. I had to stop braking, this stuff was about to fall over. It's a pity it's a 3-door. I would have preferred a 5-door, but I don't think this was ever sold as a 5-door. That radio is not built in very nicely. I think my dad recently got a Sony Bluetooth radio, and I'm not a big Sony fan, but it would be nice to have Bluetooth in this. This is not the engine you're hearing, by the way. This is literally the interior rattling. The engine's fine. Yeah? Engine sounds absolutely healthy. But as soon as as it starts idling, it's just resonation fest. Now the seats are not great, not very supportive, a bit short, but I've seen worse in these kinds of cars. But I could drive this thing for, I don't know, 3-4 hours at a time with no issues. It's not that bad actually. The steering is nice. The steering is, I mean, it's obviously a mess because of the tires, but it's very, it's tracking well. It just keeps going in a straight line. You don't have to correct at all actually. It's a really pleasant driving car in a way. Because it's just doing its thing and it doesn't ask for a lot of input. You just go through the gears, put it in fifth, put your foot on the throttle, which is heavy enough to actually support your foot a bit, and just keep it straight. And it's really easy to keep straight, so I have no issues. I mean, safety will still be an issue. It won't be great, let's be honest. But I have no issues driving this far, I would say. I definitely don't really like having to move my feet around on the tiny pedals, but that has more to do with the size of my feet and with the pedals. The accelerator feels nice though, and that's the important one because that's the one you'll be holding all the time. I have no issues with the clutch, and I don't know where the gas flap is. I think on the left. We are about to find out. Either way, that's that. Have a good day. I'm gonna fill this up.